baseball time for the sideshow. First up, a right-leaning talk jock got this crowd out in front of the Ed Sullivan Theater last night. The ralliest demanded, that's what we all do today, demand everything, that the late-night host be fired for his joke about Sarah Palin's daughter last week. Well, the fact that Letterman had already apologized didn't change their plans, these protesters, for a day on Broadway. Anyway, instead of ignoring the protesters outside his doors, Dave last night took them on just the way you'd expect him to.
The category tonight, wow, talk about something pretty close to home. The category tonight, top 10 things overheard at the Fire David Letterman rally. Number 8, we should have done this years ago. Number 3, when does Cheney get here with the waterboarding gear? What? Oh, my God.
Well, good for him. He was wrong to tell the joke, right to apologize, right to get back to what he's good at. Mockery. Next up, I want you to remember that they, too, are part of a repressed minority. Check out what U.S. Congressman John Culbertson of Texas wrote on his Twitter page earlier today. Good to see Iranian people move mountains with social media, shining sunlight on their repressive government. Texans support their bid for freedom. And, furthermore, in his Twitter, oppressed minorities include House Republicans. We are using social media to expose repression, such as last night's that's Democratic clampdown, shutting off amendments. Well, he's not the only one to make this link between Iran and the Republicans. Check out what Republican Congressman Pete Hoekstra of Michigan tweeted just today. Quote, Iranian Twitter activity similar to what we did in the House last year when Republicans were shut down in the House. Well, as Jimmy Durante once said, everybody wants to get into the act. Worse yet, everybody these days wants to be a victim. It's so cozy being a victim. And finally, bye-bye birdie. This week, New York City began rounding up Canadian geese around JFK and LaGuardia airports to put them to, well, death. They're hoping to cut down on the number of birds deploying to airplanes. Big Apple Mayor Mike Bloomberg defended taking action against the geese, who will be euthanized with carbon dioxide gas, saying, quote, in the end, public safety is number one. There's not a lot of cost involved in rounding up a couple thousand geese and letting them go to sleep with nice dreams. That's what Mike really said. Sleep with nice dreams. Do geese dream?